Hello and welcome to White Glove Reviews. In this video, what I wanted to do is I want to talk a little bit more about Loop Hero, and I wanted to talk about the achievements in Loop Hero and provide advice on how to finish some of the more complicated ones. So what I figured I'd do is I would just go down the list of achievements and discuss any of the ones that look particularly burdensome. So New Beginning is just start your expedition. Practically a Job, embark on your 10th expedition. Go Getter, embark on your 50th expedition. First Time, die 10 times. Unlock the Rogue class. The unlocking the Rogue class and unlocking the Necromancer class are both done by building buildings in your camp. So that's how you take care of that. First Blood, kill 5 enemies. Lost Count, kill 1,000 enemies. This is actually relatively easy to do once you get rolling. Trophy Collection, kill each enemy. So killing each enemy, it can be a little difficult. There are a couple that are hard to spawn. The ones that jump out at me as being particularly unusual were the Siren. In order to spawn the Siren, what you need to do is you need to have a battlefield beside a river, and that'll turn it into a shipwreck, and that'll spawn a Siren. Also, the Sirens, I believe in chapter 3 or 4, will produce jellyfish. And jellyfish was one of the last creatures that I had not seen. The other one is spawning a prime matter. And the way you spawn a prime matter is you need to get a ghost and then the ghost of a ghost. And a ghost of a ghost has apparently like a 10% chance of spawning a prime matter. So you're looking at 1 in 1,000 basically. If it's you get a ghost 1 in 10, you get a ghost of a ghost from 1 in 10, and you get a prime matter 1 in 10 from a ghost of a ghost. So you're looking at about 1 in 1,000, which is actually relatively easy to do as well. The best way I found to do it is what I did was I had good luck with running the river beside my loop, creating reeds, which caused fishmen to spawn, and then around the inside, I ran battlefields to make sure everything was a battlefield area and generate the maximum number of ghosts possible. And so that's how I got that one. So, part of the world, find 100 resources. That kind of just happens. Make a puzzle, find all the possible resources. Can't get it back, lose 100 resources. Not exactly sure how I got that one. I'm thinking maybe that counts when you die, which, well, let's just say it was so easy I didn't even know I did it. Build your first camp structure, dismantle a camp structure. I managed to screw up thoroughly, so I got to dismantle a camp structure. Build the river. Again, you just research the river. Small town. Build all the possible camp structures. That happens just in the natural progression of the game as you build through things. Get 5 camp items. Again, that's pretty straightforward. Get all the camp items. This will happen eventually, especially when you start crafting. You'll pick up a lot of the, items that way. The next one's craft 5 items, craft 25 items, and dismantle 5 items, and dismantle 10 items. Again, relatively straightforward. So synthesize 5 resources with alchemy and synthesize 100 resources. These, once you start doing alchemy, you will synthesize a lot of stuff. And also the transmute resources into hydrogen. That's basically burning resources so you can synthesize resources. And again, more transmutation. Scholar, unlock a chapter in the encyclopedia. And again, you'll unlock the encyclopedia, which is here. And unlock all the encyclopedia. If you're looking at your encyclopedia, at the bottom, there's an option to unlock articles, and you just pay knowledge fragments? Not knowledge fragments, the books. I forget the name of them. Anyway, alright. Small Talker. Read 50 different dialogues. That, I clicked through so many of them. Place 1,000 cards. That happens. Fill the whole map. Alright, this one is actually one that you kind of just have to think about to do. And the way I did it is I beat one of the bosses, and I kept playing, and I filled up the whole map. And see all the possible tiles, and again, this is just, you'll do this one fairly naturally. There are a few tiles that are weird interactions that you might have problems with. but the one that jumps out at me as being maybe the one you might not notice is the battlefield becoming a shipwreck. All the other ones weren't too bad for me to find. Tripped, die outside of a battle. Okay, this was one of the last ones I did, and I had a very specific setup to do this. What I did was I surrounded a big hunk of the loop in swamps, and I used road lanterns to prevent things from spawning, and I equipped as many of the stools that give you 0.2 regeneration, and I got my regeneration as high as possible, and I kept walking through the swamps hoping I would eventually die, and I did eventually die. So the next one, bartender refill, you're going to use your potions and again complete 100 loops. That's not too terrible as well. Defeat the Lich 3 times, defeat the Priestess 3 times, defeat the Hunter 3 times, defeat Omega, he's the 4th level boss, defeat Omega 6 times, again, you're going to probably go through that a couple times. Undying, die and resurrect 3 times in one expedition. Alright, this one was, again, one of my last few ones that I had to do, and the way I did it, there's a level up perk called Omicron something or other that gives you +1 resurrection, and if you upgrade your cemetery it gives you +1 resurrection, and if you play with the Crypt Gold card for the Necromancer it gives you +1 resurrection, and then you just play the Necromancer and you kind of suck at the game and die 3 times, and that's how I got that one. So I basically had a really bad game, and intentionally a really bad game, and I died 3 times for that. Alright, have 10 living skeletons in one battle. Alright, in order to do this one, what I did was I maxed out my skeletons with the Necromancer, and I used a bunch of cemeteries. And so, as long as there's 10 skeletons on either side of the battle, you'll get that one. Alright, so Fence. Get 10 orange items in exchange for trophies in camp. This, I think, I got this one sort of by accident, and I think the setup was I had a ton of trophies from the rogue, just killing lots of creatures, so figure lots of spiders, and then I had the picky trait for leveling up that gave you better stuff, and so that's how I got that. In Time for Lunch was the absolute last one I did, and that was to defeat the boss in the first expedition. So what you have to do here is you have to start a new session of Loop Hero, like completely from scratch, and then beat the boss in the first expedition. It took me a couple of tries to do it. I think I did it on my 4th try. And the whole thing with it is just sort of take your time and try and get to the boss as quickly as possible without too much damage. And ideally with some regeneration, some magic damage, maybe vampirism, that kind of thing. And it's inconvenient, but not too bad. The last one, Broken Geography. In one expedition, place 10 cards you don't have in your deck, not counting Oblivion. Okay. This one is kind of tricky. What you have to do is you have to spawn a lot of Prime Matters. Because the deal with Prime Matters is Prime Matters will drop, I think they drop 3 cards, and they have the potential to drop cards that aren't in your deck. So what you need to do is you need to kind of be keeping an eye on things. And so you need one of those setups where you have, like, what I did is I used the setup where I had a lot of reeds producing fishmen, and I had a lot of battlefields, so almost everything that died with a soul was producing ghosts. Also, you can use groves if you want, because rat wolves have souls. And what I did was I did that, and I think I used the rogue to do it, because the rogue's pretty solid at just mowing through creatures. And what I did was I kept going around, and you need to kill a lot of creatures to get all the Prime Matters you need. But what you have to do is you have to watch carefully when the Prime Matters die, and you need to make sure you place the cards that aren't in your deck. Because what'll happen is it can generate cards that are in your deck and generate cards that aren't in your deck. And so just make sure you place the cards that aren't in your deck. Prime Matters can also drop like gold cards that aren't in your deck. And if you get things like Maze of Memories, plan the placement of the Maze of Memories carefully. And also, one thing I did was I made sure I left a couple of blank slots. If I got weird cards that I didn't know where to put them, I had one or more of each of the roadside road tiles or landscape tile spots open to make sure I wasn't stuck with a card in my hand that I needed to lay but I couldn't. So anyway, I hope that little rundown of the various achievements helps. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer any questions you have about specifics on methods for finishing any of these. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope y'all have an excellent day.